because these boys, they were brought into like a animal in the lion's den. They are coming to girls' school.
So you are against mixed
Immorality?
schools?
Yes, that's number one. Then number two, the conduct and the culture of the mission schools. Like, for example, we have been on it.
Okay. Now, the example you gave now is the example of a public boys' school.
Yes. This
being
one,
merged
the girls is also
Baptist
public
girls.
school. Yes.
Public
They are both schools. They are both public
schools.
Yes.
Sorry, ma, can I come in?
Yeah, please.
In Osun today, we have over 3,000 public schools, primary and secondary schools.
Okay.
And to the glory of God, the single-sex schools, which are either boys or girls that we have in the whole of Osun, is not up to 10. And the fact remains that 38 years ago, the government took over all schools. There is no mission school again. 1975, the federal government took over all schools. So all schools since 1975 are being run by government.
Well, but
they only allow them to retain
some.
the names.
Government has returned some.
In maybe Lagos or some states, but in Osun, we have not returned any. The government has been saddled with the responsibility of running the schools, paying salaries, recruiting teachers, administering the schools. The missions, I'm a Baptist. The missions, the Baptists, Catholic, Anglicans, and Awarudin and Sarudins, the government only retain their names. We have states where even the so-called mission schools, when they were taking over, the government decided to change the names. We didn't do that in Osun.
Okay. Is anything?
And there is no single-sex tertiary institutions. If you are now saying we want to reclassify less than 10 schools to make everything uniform, and we now say they are raping under a week.
Okay. I want to add,
Mr. Permanent Secretary,
Yes,
I want you to react to his allegation of rape in secondary schools, because they suddenly became.
I even want to make the picture clearer. This faculty school he mentioned is a mixed school, boys and girls, now reclassified to Baptist girls. Baptist girls, you see, like he said, the new policy is out to bring about gender equality. And with that,
so a mixed school is now sent to a girls' school
to mix them up. You see, and I have peace corps all over the schools, particularly in Baptist girls. No report of rape. As I'm talking to you, no report of rape. And in all other schools. I want to add, that Baptist girls, Baptist high school now is not the only single sex that is mixed. We have the one owned by Catholics, St. Charles. Also in Nochobo.
We have St. John's in Ife.
We have St. John's in Ife.
The Reverend and the Bishop, are they here only because of the Baptist girls?
Well, no. We are just using this as example. All we are saying is that, number one, any school that was established, whether returned to the missions, taken over by the government or not, it has always been that these schools who have the missionary heritage, either Christian or Muslim, that are mission-minded schools that were founded by the missionaries, they have always been so and operating under that, even when government took over.
So what exactly is your grounds about this against this policy?
Yes, number one, the merging. Then number two,
what do you mean by the merging?
The merger.
Of boys and girls schools?
Yes.
You want single-sex schools?
Yes, not only that, even students from other, like bringing culture from other schools to another school that is of not the same culture.
How do you mean?
Like some few years ago, we were on the wearing of hijab. And in order to avoid religious conflicts within the students and even their parents at home, we had a meeting, two of us, both Muslim and Christian, and we signed an agreement. And there, the two religious leaders agreed that the students should be allowed to wear hijab to school where it is allowed.
But where it is not allowed,
and where it's
they
not
cannot
allowed,
wear
that
it.
was their sign. That was the paper that was signed by the two religious groups.
Okay.
And having that paper with us, then it will not be fair on our part that our schools that we are not used to wearing that type of dress, now bringing pupil students from other schools and now putting it on.
Well,
which means our name, our culture, and our practices are being reduced to nothing.
Were you
Have
not
you
part of the
organized?
policy?
Yeah,
Were
sorry.
you not part of this policy discussions before this policy was signed into law?
The one in
This
operation now.
education policy. Were you not part of the discussion?
The summit that was done, it was only Professor Wole Soyinka that delivered the paper. The Christians were not allowed to deliver paper. We were not given. We attended, but we were not given the chance.
So you were not asked any questions, you were not asked to contribute anything before the policy was signed
No.
and then the
and
implementation started?
yes, and secondly, each time we have meeting, this is not the first time we've been meeting with the government. There has never been a time that we agreed. It has always been disagreement.
Hold on. Mr. Permanent Secretary, have you been part of these meetings that he's talking about?
Yes, I have.
You were at the summit, definitely.
Yes.
So is it true that they were not given a chance to make any contribution?
You see, that's why his submissions here appear strange to me. In fact, to have invited somebody to a summit, I mean, it's a glaring thing to tell you that government has opened the window of contribution, which they all did.
But he's saying here that you've never had an agreement in all the meetings you've had.
But that is not true. That is not true.
Each meeting we meet with the government, there is no time that we agree that this thing should go on. Our point has always been, we do not want our heritage, the Christian practices, culture in our schools to be eradicated.
Let me get this right. You are now against the merger, which will now bring Muslim students to mission schools.
Yes.
Christian mission schools, because that's also a Christian mission school.
Yes, where they will be allowed to wear their Muslim gear.
Yes.
Now, suppose Christians are Christian schools that merge with Muslim schools. Are the Christians required to wear that hijab?
Well, I wouldn't know, because there is no record in our hands that shows that any of because we are clergymen and we are leading people, we have no record that a Christian student or girl is forced to wear hijab in a Muslim school or in any other public school.
Okay,
but
she's allowed to come as...
Yes, I want to believe so. But the Muslim girls will now become not only this wearing of their dress, but the names, they may maintain the names, but gradually everything will totally be...
Do the Christian schools have a problem with the Muslim students wearing their hijab?
Yes, of
Yes.
course.
You have a problem with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Why is it a problem?
In one of my own churches at Iwo, Methodist United Methodist Church, they wore hijab, and it caused crisis.
Why?
No, it has explained. Every mission has its own culture. When Baptist was established, it has its own culture. So Methodist, we have our own culture. And so when you mix them together, then when two things merge, they lose their identity. And so it's a different identity.
Bishop, let me give you a scenario.
Yes.
I went to a Catholic school.
Yes.
And I'm a Protestant. I went to a Catholic school.
Yes.
But we had to do everything we had to do everything together. Whether we were Catholics or not didn't matter to the school authorities. We chose to come to their school, so we will do everything that they did.
Yes.
Apart from being baptized, we were not indoctrinated to become Catholics, but we had to go to Mass. We had to learn the Mass in Latin,
Exactly, yes.
even though we were not Catholics.
Yes.
We had to do everything that Catholics did.
If I can even make an addition, let's consider what is the percentage of these so-called Muslims that are coming to these mission schools. The faculty they are talking about is a community school. it is both sexes that are there. We are bringing students
of both sexes
together. And I have examples. The problem